There's so much pressure for Chinese soldiers. Chinese soldiers suffer from an excessive masturbation problems. Chinese soldiers can't even fight. They get their bottoms kicked by India regularly. Now Xi Jinping wants to send Chinese soldiers to Afghanistan to play with the Taliban. But Chinese soldiers are not ready to do that. Sure, they are little emperors who like to be pampered and taken care of. But Afghanistan is simply not the place for them. They are much better off in their cozy little beds, doing what they love most. But Xi Jinping hates such soldiers. He keeps trying to straighten them and keeps failing. He keeps sending new generals to China's Western Theater Command, but they all fail too. So Jinping has sent another new general to Western China. The results this time are not expected to be any better though. Hi and welcome. This is TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I am your host Atul Mishra in all his Indian glory, and in this video I will tell you how fearing war in Afghanistan and conflict within China, apart from fights with India, PLA's Western Theater Command is rejecting Jinping's vision. Let's begin. China has come to face a real-time crisis in its Western Theater Command, or the WTC, which is tasked with managing China's occupied Xinjiang and Tibet provinces, apart from also dealing with India and most recently adapting to the rise of a Taliban regime in Afghanistan. Geographically, China's Western Theater Command is in charge of the vastest area and is simply overburdened. Chinese soldiers are wimps, little emperors and sissies. TFI has been at the forefront of exposing Chinese soldiers for what they are. So when these soldiers and their bosses are told to fight multiple battles in Xinjiang, Tibet and against India all at the same time, revolts are expected to blossom. Given the fact that with the rise of the Taliban in Afghanistan, the Western Theater Command of China will also be tasked with the job of ensuring that there are no spillover effects in Xinjiang province, and the PLA troops are growing increasingly disgruntled with Beijing in West China. It is almost as if Xi Jinping is tasking them with jobs which they are simply incapable of completing. Owing to the same, Jinping has been forced to change 4 Chinese PLA generals commanding the WTC in the past year, and this shows just how pervasive the anti-Beijing sentiment in the Western Theater Command of the PLA is. Xi Jinping has appointed General Wang Haijiang as the new commander of the People's Liberation Army's Western Theater Command. General Wang is the 4th commander to head the Western Theater Command after the Eastern Ladakh standoff began in May last year. Most recently, in July this year, Xi Jinping had appointed General Xu Qiling to head the PLA's Western Theater Command. Now that he has been replaced by Wang Haijiang while still having 6 years of active service remaining, what role Xu has been given remains unclear, if at all he has been given one. Intriguingly, there is still no clarity on where Xu Qiling's predecessor, Lieutenant Zhang Chudong, was sent to. General Zhang had replaced General Zhao Zhongqi in December 2020. General Zhao was at the helm of affairs since the formation of the Western Theater Command until his retirement. Why is the WTC witnessing such haphazard rejigs? Are the PLA troops rising in revolt? Are they underperforming? Is China losing its grip on Tibet and Xinjiang? We think Beijing is rattled since all of this is happening at the same time, even as India breathes fire down the paper dragon's throat. China has gone all out in its support for the Taliban. This has given rise to a deep sense of insecurity among the ordinary Chinese populace who view their country's embracement of an Islamist terror organization as deeply problematic. The same is the case with Chinese troops in the Western Theater Command. They feel that their country is embracing violent Islamists while tormenting innocent Uyghur Muslims who have been put in concentration camps, which China likes to refer to as internment centers. The PLA is really at the forefront of wiping Uyghur culture and Islamic faith out of Xinjiang. They are leading Jinping's crusade against Uyghur Muslims, yet China is also getting in bed with the Taliban. Simultaneously, the WTC has been tasked with ensuring that the East Turkestan Islamic Movement, or the ETIM, does not regroup under Taliban rule in Afghanistan and mount a campaign against the Chinese occupation of Xinjiang. All of this has filled the plates of Chinese troops operating under the WTC, and discontent is brewing among them. Jinping is also trying to station PLA troops belonging to the Western Theater Command in a Taliban-ruled Afghanistan, but Chinese soldiers simply do not want to risk their lives for Jinping's Talibani fascination. India, meanwhile, is doing the PLA no favors. For the past year, the Indian army has been giving Chinese little emperors hell in Eastern Ladakh. China was forced to pull in mixed martial art fighters to deal with Indian soldiers last year, since its troops were simply no match for the brave Indians standing guard in the mighty Himalayas. Essentially, The WTC is giving Xi Jinping, the Chinese Central Military Commission, a tough time, which is why its commanders are being changed at an unprecedented pace.